What's up, everyone? We got brackets for the NCAA tournament. One of my favorite things to do, I think all fans love to do this, get into the brackets, dive in, kind of find some fun facts, and make predictions. I'm gonna do it for the 125-pound bracket, and this weight has been the craziest, the most chaotic throughout the entire year. So I wanna throw at you, there's been 7 different number ones ranked at 125 from the start of the year until now. And so looking at the bracket, Braden Davis is the current number 1 in our rankings and in the seeds. But then as we go throughout the bracket, you also see Anthony Noto seated at number 12. He was an early number 1 as well. Matt Ramos started out the year at number 1. Now he's 4. Drake Ayala spent some time number 1 as well. He's now seated 3rd. Nico Provo, after CKLV, he was ranked number 1. Now he's the 14 seed. On Jacob Camacho, he's seated number 7, was ranked number 1. Then he lost 4 matches in a row. He was completely out of the rankings, out of the starting lineup. Now he's back in, all the way down here. True freshman out of Lehigh, seated number 2. He was number 1 for like a week or 2 as well. So, you look at that, you got, a couple formerly ranked number 1s up top, a couple on the bottom. It's like, man, these guys are high level. Now they're, scattered throughout the bracket. All right, so I'm gonna start at this top quarter here, the 1 through 8, and try to make some predictions. We don't have the wrestling bracket. That's between Joyce and Lujan. Lujan's really tough. Lujan had some overtime matches at Big Tens with some top-level guys. But he's gonna, if he wins against Joyce, which that's my prediction, he'll have Braden Davis. And then we got Dean Peterson and Brett Unger here. So Braden Davis, my pick, obviously. Then Unger, Peterson. I'm gonna favor Peterson here. Peterson had an overtime match with number 1 Braden Davis, and so I think they're gonna have a rematch in that second round. Going down, Patrick McKee, Tirakina, Ethan Bergen, Richard Figueroa. My pick here, I'm sticking with the 8-9. I think McKee, Figueroa come out of there. And then Braden Davis, he's my pick to make the quarters over Peterson, even though I think it's going to be close. And then I'm rolling with Patrick McKee over Richard Figueroa to make the quarters opposite Braden Davis. I think we're going to see a rematch of the Big Ten finals here in the quarterfinals. All right, continue to roll down. In this quarter here, Jory Volk, Diego Sotelo, Brandon Kaler, Noto, Certain, Poulin, McCrone, Ramos. I think 2 guys, clearly the favorites out of here, Jory Volk, Matt Ramos. They got their 4 and 5 seeds because, they've had the most consistent year in an inconsistent weight. But, as we said, Anthony Noto, he, in my opinion, is the dark horse to kind of break up this weight. Noto, win over, I believe, Jacob Camacho this year. He was All-American last year. Really tough guy on top. Doesn't always get the shine because he wrestles at a smaller school in Lock Haven. But, man, he is tough. And that first-round match, Brandon Kaler, Anthony Noto, 2 past All-Americans meeting in the very first round at NCAAs. It really doesn't get much better than that. And then you got Brendan McCrone down here, the 29 seed. Brendan McCrone has incredibly solid wins this year. Maybe the highlight of his season, he pinned number 7 seed Jacob Camacho. 29 seed pinned the 7 seed. So, man, the depth at this weight is just incredible, really crazy. So, my picks out of here to make the quarterfinals, I am rolling with Jory Volk, Matt Ramos. I'm gonna pick chalk. This weight, I've only picked really one upset, Patrick McKee, the number 9. Before we go on to the bottom half and make our predictions here, go through the bracket, I'm gonna throw another fun fact about this weight class at you. There are 6 former All-Americans in the weight. 6 former All-Americans. So as we go through, you see Patrick McKee, All-American. I already highlighted Kaler, Noto. And then you got Matt Ramos, of course, right? Returning national finalist. And then down here at the bottom, Eric Barnett, and Michael D'Agostino. So 6 past All-Americans. Now, if you noticed, as I started listing these off, there's only one former All-American seeded in the top 8. So 7 of the top 8 seeds at 125 never reached the podium. So that comes from, a lot of them are freshmen, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen. So this is their first trip to the NCAA tournament. So I think that's really interesting. Take it for what you will. All right, coming through this bottom side here. Drake Ayala, Eli Griffin. Ayala's big favorite there. Griffin's tough. Had some, like everybody in this bracket, he's had some good wins this year. Cooper Flynn, Braden Palmer. Oh, sorry, missed Strickenberger Provo. Strickenberger, he is the dark horse in this bracket. He had a really good start to the year, beat Brandon Kaler, but then kind of struggled mid-season, flirted with going 133, then drops back down, takes 3rd at Big 12s, and seeded 19th. He is a guy who could surprise a lot of people, make a podium run. And starting right off, we'll kind of see right from the get-go against Nico Provo. That's a fun match. And then going down, Cooper Flynn, he wasn't the starter. He's going to redshirt to start this year. Returning All-American, Eddie Ventresca started. He kind of had a rough start to his year, then got hurt. So Cooper Flynn pulled out of Olympic redshirt, and he's been really good. ACC runner-up. Had some really solid wins. Believe he beat Nico Provo right after Provo won CKLV. And then Max Gallagher and Troy Spratley. All right, making predictions out of here. I'm going Ayala. I'm going Strickenberger. I'm going Flynn. I'm going Spratley. And I think, from this, I'm gonna pick my first big upset here. I'm gonna go Cooper Flynn, makes the quarters, and then I'm sticking with Drake Ayala to make the quarter, so we'll have a Flynn Ayala quarter here. All right, so final quarter here. Jacob Camacho, really, a tale of like 2 seasons for him. Struggled in December and then has been great in January. Blake West, really solid year, 27-6. Tanner Jordan, Eric Barnett, past All-American. Caleb Smith at the 15. Caleb Smith, he has just some incredible wins this year. I believe Braden Davis, the number 1 seed, and Matt Ramos, the number 4 seed. Incredible season for Caleb Smith, and he's the 15. And then you got Klinsky, the 31, Stanich, number 2. Stanich, true freshman, been so impressive this year. Wins over Eric Barnett, Cooper Flynn, Brett Unger, and only 3 losses on the year. So my picks to come out of this quarterfinal, Luke Stanich, man, really, really tough matchup here against winner of Smith D'Agostino. I'm going to pick Smith to come out on top. I think Stanich gets it done, makes the quarterfinal, and then Barnett and Camacho, I think they're the class here. I'm going to roll with Camacho to make the quarters. And so I picked some really, I think, mostly vanilla picks. I got Braden Davis versus Patrick McKee. I got Jory Volk versus Matt Ramos, Drake Ayala, Cooper Flynn, Jacob Camacho, Luke Stanich. The chances of that happening, probably pretty slim, especially in what we've seen this year so far. So making my picks for the quarters. We just saw Braden Davis beat Patrick McKee. Close match, but we just saw it. Braden Davis has been so good this year as a true freshman, and I can't pick against him now, against McKee. McKee is a guy, man, he can go big. He can end a match really quickly. So obviously we're not counting him out here, but I'm picking Braden Davis to make the semis. And then Volk Ramos, man, Jory Volk, as solid as they come, but there's something about Matt Ramos at the NCAA tournament. Just remember him from last year when it's, lights are on, he's going to wrestle, the best of his ability. So Matt Ramos, Braden Davis, that's my semifinal pick. And then down here, Drake Ayala, Cooper Flynn. I like this matchup for Ayala. I'm rolling with Ayala to the semis, and then Jacob Camacho, Luke Stanich. Man, I've gone back and forth on this matchup. Stanich, man, he is tough. He rides hard, wrestles hard from start to finish, but Jacob Camacho really rounding into form. And one of the things I've noticed differently about him is he's putting together full matches. He's wrestling very intelligent matches. So I'm going to pick Camacho to come out, beat Stanich in the quarters. So we got Ayala, Camacho, and Ramos, Davis, and man, finalist pick. I'm going with Ramos. I'm going with Matt Ramos. We saw what he did last year in the semifinals. I think, he's just a guy when the lights are brightest, that's when he wrestles the best. So that's a cliche saying, right? But Ramos to the finals, and then down here, Ayala versus Jacob Camacho. Haven't seen this matchup this year. I think Ayala is who I'm leaning slightly towards. I think it's a really close match. Maybe one takedown. Feels like it could be an overtime match going to rideouts. Drake Ayala, Matt Ramos. It's going to be my finals pick. And so, this comes down. We've seen this match this year. They've wrestled twice this year. In the duel, it was Ramos. Ayala couldn't get the takedown. He won, I think it was 4-1. Ayala then avenged it just at Big Tens last week. So this is, my prediction leading to the rubber match. And I'm gone back and forth on this. At first I was really thinking, man, Ayala's just going to get it done. But I'm leaning Ramos. I think Ramos, he's got maybe a little bit more ways to score. And he's kind of shown a little bit more effective on his feet. Sometimes Ayala can have trouble finishing. So book it. Matt Ramos, NCAA champion, 125 pounds. You can take all my predictions to the bank. Probably going to work out exactly like I predicted. Probably not at all. We're going to see chaos in this weight, start to finish. Let us know who you think is going to win this chaotic bracket in the comments. Don't forget to join us for our watch party. We're going to be breaking down all the content from Thursday through Saturday. It's presented by Cliff Keen. Don't forget to visit FloWrestling.org. Catch you later.